Everywhere you look, people are sharing their lives online. Every moment documented, every thought broadcast. But you've always felt something off about that pressure. Because sometimes the quieter path is the one that leads to freedom. Scroll for 5 minutes and you'll notice something strange. Life isn't just being lived anymore, it's being displayed. And even rest somehow needs documentation. Eating? Post it. At the gym? Post it. Breathing? Honestly, give it a filter, and that's a post too. But you've always felt something off about that pressure. It's like the world keeps shouting, "Show yourself," and you've quietly responded, "I'm good." Before we go deeper, pause for a second and feel how rare that mindset is. People will act like silence is suspicious. You don't post for a year, and suddenly everyone thinks you got kidnapped by a cult. But you never bought into the idea that visibility equals significance. You exist even when you're quiet. You matter even when you're offline. You're real even when you're not performing. Honestly, if existence depended on posting, half the world would have disappeared during their ugly haircut phases. Some assume that not posting means hiding, but in your case, it simply means protecting your sanity. You guard your peace the way some people guard their Wi-Fi password. You don't post because you understand a secret. Privacy isn't a cage, it's armor. Not everything deserves an audience. Not everyone gets access to your inner world. Subscribe to the channel now if this resonates. This space is made for people who value privacy, calm, and introspection. You're not the type to spend 14 minutes choosing between these and these for a caption. You think deeply, sometimes too deeply. By the time most people have uploaded a photo, you've already analyzed the meaning of life, your childhood patterns, and that one embarrassing thing you said in 2017. Posting feels shallow, like trying to fit your whole brain into a tiny caption box. Honestly, your thought process deserves a documentary, not a post. You don't post because you don't need to. You don't need likes to confirm your existence. You don't need attention to feel whole. People who post everything, half the time they're just showing the best angles of their problems. Meanwhile, you are living your life like a limited edition release, low-key, exclusive, and yes, sold out. You see how differently people act when they know they're being watched. Suddenly, every moment becomes a performance, every conversation becomes content, and even rest somehow needs documentation. But you value real connection. You'd rather talk deeply with one person than perform loudly for 1,000 strangers. You don't want relationships built on aesthetics. You want relationships built on authenticity. Posting isn't free. It costs mental energy, emotional bandwidth, and a sense of identity. When you post, people analyze you, judge you, misinterpret you, and project on you. It's exhausting. You prefer the safety of living without an audience. You choose freedom over visibility, peace over performance. Honestly, your brain probably thanks you every day. People post everything these days, their morning routines, their bedroom ceilings, their existential crises disguised as story updates. Meanwhile, you have mastered the ancient art of being mysterious. You share nothing, and somehow people want to know everything. That's power. People overshare themselves into boredom. You keep your story private, and that makes you interesting. Your silence speaks louder than their selfies. You see through the illusion. You know social media is a gallery of moments, not a representation of reality. You don't compare your real life to someone else's carefully edited greatest hits. You're too grounded for that. You're not competing, you're not performing, you're just living quietly, peacefully, deeply. You refuse to let an app decide what version of you is acceptable. You won't alter your personality to match what performs well. You won't transform into a highlight reel of yourself just to get attention. Your identity doesn't belong to an algorithm. Your value doesn't depend on engagement metrics. You remain untouched by the machine. It's not that you don't like people, you just don't like people watching you like they're collecting data for a documentary. You choose who gets access. You choose who gets information. You choose who gets your energy. You're not closed off, you're curated, and that curation is a form of intelligence, not avoidance. Most people overshare, a few people hide, but the rarest type, the balanced person who understands the strength of selective visibility. That's you. Your stillness is intentional, your silence is powerful, your privacy is valuable. You don't post not because you have nothing to say, but because your life is too full to be flattened into content. You're the kind of person people never forget because they never fully know you. At the end of the day, you understand something most people miss. Life is richer when it's lived, not displayed. Your happiness doesn't need an audience. Your moments don't need a timestamp. Your identity doesn't need validation. You don't post because you're too busy being. Subscribe to the channel now if this video spoke to you. This is where quiet thinkers, private minds, and deep souls gather. And here's a thought-provoking question for you. If the world couldn't see anything you posted, who would you become? Let me know your thoughts in the comments.